Okay, so I am back now. I'll wait for some of you to join me back. Hello guys, I'm sorry I got I got interrupted due to the connection. I had connection issues. I'm really sorry. Okay, so I'm back. I'll just wait for the rest of them to join because there were around 10 or 12 of them watching. Sorry for that. So if any of you have questions and unanswered, please write them down now. Earlier I had missed out reading a few of your comments. So I'm just waiting for the others who were already there to join. Alright, I can see them all joining back. Sorry guys, I got disconnected. Fine, so let's just continue the process. So I leave these white spaces in between so that it gives a more of a realistic look. And you can see me pulling the paint always towards the center. So that's how you have to paint. So pull all the extra paint towards the center and make sure you leave also make sure that you leave white spaces in between. So starting from the top of the petal, I go downward. And I pull the paint towards the center so that the center looks more dark. And then I directly pick the paint from my palette, alright, and apply it to the center. I didn't dilute it with water. Just like that, I am picking the paint directly and only towards the center I spread. So you need to work really quick with watercolor. So what happened is when I got interrupted, I took a break. So my paper has dried up. So you need to really be quick while you're painting with watercolors. So I'll just make that layer more visible. Alright, so now let's move on to the purple flower here. So again I pick paint directly, and this time I'm gonna add in a little bit of white and make it a little chalky. Very little bit of white, and I make the color more like a lavender color. So I don't want it to be very saturated. And then again I add water and using my same brush. You can use, oh oops, I just messed that up. Okay, fine, no problem, no worries. So I drag the paint from top to the bottom and I make sure that I leave a few white spaces here and there. Okay, so working on each petal one at a time. And then the last final petal here. Alright, and then I pick that purple color directly from my palette and I just drop it to the center. And I just put a lot of paint there, so I just pick up some of it using my brush and I wipe it off onto my napkin there. Yeah, so I can now again see that inked part. Alright, fine. So now I just leave that to dry as well. Next we'll work on this tiny flower here. So for that I'm using a saffron color, the saffron here. So I made this color by mixing a little bit of yellow ochre and mustard yellow available on my set directly, and the same peach as well, the one we used initially. So the colors doesn't matter, you can just keep playing with the watercolor set that's available with you and you can create a lot of colors. So that's why you remember the chart I showed you earlier in the start. To have this chart is really handy. You can really play with these colors and find out what all colors can be formed by mixing 2 or more colors. So using that mustard yellow, I'm gonna paint this flower here. So I just make sure that I leave those white spaces in between. And oops, this flower I forgot to do the center, right? Okay, I'll do that later. Fine, so that's it. And now what we're going to do is, using clear water, I'll just soften these sides further. So whatever white spaces are there, I just clear that up and soften those crisp edges. So because the paint is still wet, most of the colors will easily spread onto those areas. Okay. And then next step is I go back and grab some of this green and mix it. This is lime green and I'll mix it up with olive green, and this time my paint is really thick. I have used less water and I just start painting my leaves. Leaves and vines. So you can add, that area has to dry a little bit more, so which is why the color just spread. So you can just pull off the paint using a napkin. And you can also try using different shades of green. So this time I'll just directly apply that lime green onto some of those leaves there. So I'll have to wait for the layer to dry. Alright, then I'm grabbing paint. So this, you can see I'm just applying paint really thick so that most of that initial layer is covered up as well. now we are done with our flowers and leaves. So I'll just quickly dry this up. So this is the same thing we repeat onto the other corner over here. We repeat the same. So I won't be showing you how it's done in order to save time. That's just the same thing we do, the same process. It's really windy, so like I have the windows open and my paper seems to be flying off. Alright, along with the heat, hot air from my glue, from my craft tool. Alright, so I was trying to read any new comments. Hi. Fine, so that's it. And now we'll get to the lettering part or the calligraphy part. So the same techniques we applied here will be applied to this corner here. So that's what I've done here. So this is actually not handwritten. I used a stamp here, the one I showed initially. That's what I used to put in this technique. And this is what, like I said, you can go for stamps. You get these sentiment stamps. You also, if you don't have the skill to draw, you can definitely. Your voice is little far. Okay, Sinu, I'll. Is that better now? You can hear me better now? Alright, so to draw our okay, so just let me know which one you want to do. Do you want to do this one, best mom? Yeah, we'll do this, right? Best mom ever. Could you show that stamp again? Alright, so this is the stamp. So this is I'll show you how it's done. So if you have let's move all these aside. So this is actually a bigger tool. You don't need these if you are a beginner in card making. You can use something called acrylic blocks as well. So this is my stamp, and this is my stamp pad. It's a different tool. It's called Stamp Perfect tool. And this is my clear stamp, that sentiment, the same sentiment. So I put it down to my paper first, and then I just close this like that. So now it gets stuck onto the side of my stamp tool. And then where is my ink pad? Yeah, using the ink pad, I put in some ink onto the stamp, and then I press it down. And voila, here we have our sentiment stamp. It's really beautiful, and it says you are beautiful inside and out. That's a very good sentiment for your mother. So if you want, you can copy the style. If you know calligraphy, you can definitely do it the same way. So that's how it comes out. Fine. So did you see that, Sinu? That's cute. Yes, it really is cute. So the ones who do not have real good drawing skills, or who fear like, what if I don't draw that so well like him or her? So for the ones who and still loves drawing, seriously, you need to get into card making. So this is the best thing about card making. You can have all these kinds of pre-printed and pre-cut designs available on your stamp. So now we are going to put in our sentiment. So for that, first I take my ruler, and so according to the space or the balance of the design you have built here, you need to decide on the size of your font or the size of your lettering. So here my flowers were smaller compared to the ones here, and it's a bit towards the center. So now I need to have a balance of the size I'm going to put in there. So I will be writing it a little smaller on this one. So for that I put in my first sentiment, which is, or the first word, which is best. So I put in the word best somewhere over here. So I draw these guidelines. Without guidelines you can't ever do the best sort of brush lettering ever. So with my guidelines it's easier to put in words in the right line and spacing. So now I'm gonna mark 1 centimeter each of a grid and I'll create a grid here, so that I can put each of my letter into those, each of my alphabets into those grids. Okay, so my best will go into this grid here, and you can see now, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna put in my first alphabet, which is B, onto this grid here. So I first put that line. You can use your scale if you're not very sure if your hand will be, like, you know, not shaky. So you can use a scale in that case, or the ruler. And then I'm gonna put in B. Again, go back, use your scale if you're not confident enough. So BE S. Again, I'm fitting it into those grids so that it's well spaced. The space between the letters should be looking good. And T. Okay, best. And then I'm gonna write in mom here, but I'll do that later. So this ruler actually helps me draw lines simultaneously, like I can draw one up and one down. So I don't know where you get this, and I can't remember from where I bought this, but if you can find something like this, it's good to go for it. And the next one, best. So your mom word will come here, and then since it's kind of, okay, let's put in that word as well. So for this you need to really start with the basics of calligraphy. So I don't think I will be explaining calligraphy right now, but a little bit of fox lettering. So how you do fox lettering? Fox lettering is making your word or the quote look a little more like as if you used a brush pen to letter them. So what you do is you just put in the word mom using your basic running handwriting. So if you see, you can use your cursive writing and write down mom. I'm fitting into that 2 guidelines there and extending that there. And when it comes to fox calligraphy, what you do is, so when I go this way, that's called my upstroke, and when I move down, it's called my downstroke. So this is an upstroke, this is a downstroke, again an upstroke and a downstroke, which formed M. So this is again upstroke, and I lift my pen and I put in the downstroke and I go up again. So that's how up and down strokes are formed. So whichever are my down strokes, I'll put a line beside it. So this is what is called fox calligraphy or fake calligraphy. So now I will fill this up. So while I'm doing it with the ink, I'll show you how it's done. So whichever are my down strokes, I put a line beside it and make it look thicker. All right. And then I'm gonna put in the word ever. So since this looks a little in this one, if you see, I put them together, like best and ever were equally aligned and centered, but here I'm gonna put the ever as if it's towards the end of, like, you know, it started a little towards the other side, so I'm gonna put in a little aligned to the right. So these are the ways you form a balance in what you're creating. So some of the balance happens as you do the piece of work. Again, I divide them into 4 equal parts because again it's a 4-lettered word, ever. So I create 4 1-centimeter grid. You can see, right? Okay, I didn't know that. Cruise mortal. Okay, fine. You didn't know about fox lettering. Is that what you're saying? Okay, so I had also received a few requests from some of you asking me to put a tutorial on my YouTube channel on fox lettering. I'll be doing that soon. So I'm writing down ever. So you can see me, I'm putting that E in the center of the grid and keeping it as like as good as possible, like keeping it in the center, equally sized. All right, and ever. So here we go. And now using any normal pen, like you don't need a calligraphy pen. So let me show you with that fine liner pen, any of my normal fine liner pen. Yeah, so this is a normal fine liner pen. So with that, I am gonna write in the sentiment BEST. I'll write down okay, let's go to fox calligraphy. So this is my basic running handwriting, or the cursive handwriting. Actually it has a little bit of that I've been practicing calligraphy, so I have that calligraphy rules and things coming in, but you can follow your cursive writing. And then the ones where there were downstrokes, I go down towards the only do it towards one side. If you're doing on the left, keep doing it onto the left side. Keep repeating it onto the left side. So here I'll go all the way like that and like that. Fine. All right. And then I'm gonna fill this up. So now it's gonna look really beautiful once you fill it up. Isn't it looking pretty? Fine. The next is the last line here, ever. Alright, so that's done. So now we can erase off all our pencil marks. So be careful, you need to have it all dried up before you since I'm in a hurry teaching you guys, I have this feeling of you guys are losing your patience, so I'm quite hurrying. So nobody wants to watch anything for such a long time. So all right, so now that's done. So now I'll show you how I'm going to put them together onto my card base. So I haven't done this part. Once that is done, this is going to look as pretty as this and this. Oh, you can't see. Wait, let me zoom out. Yeah. So once you are done with the side of the flowers on this side, it's going to look really beautiful together, just like all these cards. See? Alright, so now I'll show you how I'm going to put them together onto this base. So let me just show you how I use the double-sided tape. You can use your glue stick. Glue stick is what I would recommend. Don't use liquid glue. If you use liquid glue, what will happen is your paper will start bulging out, which you don't want to. Can we use thick black paper instead of cardboard? This is not a cardboard, this is actually a card base, and it's a craft paper, which is why it is brown in color. This one is a craft paper and this one is a white cardstock. So like I said earlier, I think I showed one card to you guys, right? Yeah, this one is a white card base. Okay, so let's avoid the confusion. This is actually a brown color, and it's known as craft paper actually because it's brown in color. And you might have seen some of the journals are bookbinded using this sort of a material. So you can the question is, can we use thick black paper instead of cardboard? So I was just answering that it's not cardboard actually, it's cardstock, and thick black paper is perfectly good. You can use a black paper. Could you please mention the materials for beginners? Let's choose Lakshmi. I have actually explained that in the beginning. So if you check out my IGTV video for the part 1, like I got interrupted in between. So whatever materials I explained will be available for you to replay on my IGTV. I need to check if it's on my story or IGTV. Anyway, it will be available on my YouTube channel as well after this. We'll get it in black as well, I think. Yes. So you get cardstock in different colors, like white, black, gold, plain, silver, red, blue, green, any color. Okay, and definitely you should try buying different colors as well, because you can get to see how the designs look when different colors are put. Like for example, you can easily notice and make out the difference of these two cards, right? One has a colored border and it looks really good, and this looks good as well, which has been put onto white border. So now let me know in the comments which card you want me to use. Let me see. Do you want me to use the craft paper cardstock or the white cardstock? Let's see. I'll go for the ones with the most number of votes. So this one, this or this. Which one do you want? Do you buy it online or any color store? Actually, I buy them online. Until now, I haven't found particularly card making kits around in Trivandrum. But they are available to buy locally from Chennai. And maybe in the other cities. I know about Chennai because I've bought some of my products from Chennai. There is a store called Ananda Stationery where you get all card making tools, and generally I buy them from online otherwise. And there are lots of Indian online stores, and mostly a lot of things go out of stock very quickly from the Indian shops, but I have written down some of the shop names. So in India you can buy these materials from Crafters Corner. Mudra is another online store which is specifically for card making. Craft Gully is another one. Craftshop.in is a good option. Chennai, from where? It's Ananda Stationery. I am not sure about the locations, but I can definitely share that with you. Paris Corner, there are a lot of stores. Okay, maybe you should sell it on your website. Thank you, Cruise Model. Thank you, Abhinand. I'll look forward to that. Please share the online link. So you guys, I'll definitely write a blog post on that probably. And if you are in the Middle East, you can try PPS UAE, which is a good online store for your paper craft and art supplies, which is Pretty Paper Studio, PPS UAE. And there used to be a Paper Curves, which was one of my favorite shops, but I think they are no more, and instead of that it has been taken over by Creative Crafts Dubai, which is also equally good. And again, there are a lot of ones other than that, like internationally, which ships globally, but right now I don't think there is any shipping going on. So if you guys let me know which card I need to be going for in the next few seconds, I'll go for it. Otherwise I'll just use one of them, my choice. Sino, Abhinand, Laureth, can you all just tell Andrew? Which one do you want me to use? Which one do you think looks better? This or this? White. Okay, I got 2 white. Craft paper. So now I have equal votes. Okay, one more. I'll wait for one more. One more person. Alright, so I'm going for the craft paper. Alright. Fine. So we're gonna put them together. Okay, so this is a glue stick. Please, if you are at home and you only have this glue there, don't use liquid glue. Like I said, please don't go for Fevicol kind of thing. Either use glue stick, or if you have adhesive like this is a favorite product for all craft people. So I'm gonna cut off few strips from this, and I put them onto the paper there. Alright. So I'm running out of things, and usually I used to have the regret of stocking up a lot of things, and during this lockdown I think I didn't have that regret at all, because I could utilize my time using all these hoardings of mine. But now I'm sad that I'm running out of these supplies. Fine. So now all my sides are secured using the adhesive. So this is a double-sided tape. It's not a foam tape, it's a double-sided tape. Cello tape, no, you can't use cello tape. It will make all your hard work look wasted. It's not gonna work. Go for a go for a glue stick if you don't have this tape. So I think that's it. It's done. I'm done with this. Oh no. Alright. So now what I do is I peel off this, and see how easy that is. So for these kind of work you can use a tweezer. Sometimes a tweezer comes in handy. No, it's not handy for me right now. Anyway, for me, I like my nails better. If you don't have nails, you can try using tweezer and all. Alright, and align them first. Make sure you have placed them together, considering the space and the border, and then press it down. And now I'll show you how to use a bone folder again. So for these kind of things you can use your bone folder. So generally I've seen some people use their ruler, but what happens is if there is any ink residue left, it will just come into the paper and spoil the effort. So this is how you can make use of a what tape was that, Pam? I missed that part. This is a double-sided tape. It's just a double-sided adhesive, and I don't know if it's again available on Amazon, and probably in the local stores as well, because this is a very common tape among crafters. So we are done with our card. So now we have, this is our envelope, and we can put them together, and voila, we hand it over to our mother on Mother's Day. So what are your plans for for tomorrow, for Mother's Day? And hope you all enjoyed the session. You can obviously watch the replay for the next 24 hours on my story, or just check my IGTV. Earlier when I was interrupted, it got saved to my IGTV actually. And otherwise I will be uploading both parts of the video to my YouTube channel, and you can always replay it from there. So shall I wind this up? Is there any other questions for you guys? Such good cards. Thank you, Kalyani. Just drop in your questions if there are any. That was really nice. Thank you. Thank you, Jisha. Okay, so oops. Alright, so shall I wind this up? Really useful live, Chichi. Going to try. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much for joining me, CraftX. I can see some of you joining me right now, but I'm ending up this session considering everyone can't get the materials due to lockdown. Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. So for that, like I said in the beginning, please, you don't have to seriously use the same products that I was using today. You can do this, just apply the techniques that I taught you, and you can make this out of any material you have. I mean, like, even if it's a normal paper, just try it out. Make sure you do not dilute your paint so much. I mean, like I explained, while using watercolor paper has really good absorbency level. So even if you dilute your paint a lot, the paper keeps absorbing all the water and only the color comes out. So it's really good to have watercolor paper, but I know it's lockdown and I don't think so you can quickly go and buy today and give this card to your mother. I know that, but please try this out using available materials at home. If it's a thick paper, well and good. If it's a chart paper, you can try on that. And for the card base, try creating the card base. So I'll just tell you the size. So I made a square card today. So whatever is the size you're making, so if you're making a 15 by 15 centimeter square card, the paper you need to first take is a 30 centimeter paper. On one side you need to have 30 centimeters and on the other side we need the 15. So I think that will be tough, yeah, because that's 12 inch, right? Yeah, I don't think so. If it's a chart paper, you can definitely make the same size. So take a 13 by 15 centimeter paper and on the 15 score a line and fold your paper, and that's how you get a 15 by 15 square card. And these cards I've used it this way, like I open it from the bottom to the top, but you can also put in the final watercolor piece this way and you can open it like a book as well. It's a cool and beautiful gift for mothers. Thank you, Sinu. Thank you for the lovely session. Thank you all for joining me and boosting my confidence. This was my first live session. Hope you all enjoyed. So please try this out using whatever materials are available. And shall I wind up now? Alright, hope you all enjoyed. I hope I didn't bore you guys. Okay, so bye bye. Is there any more questions? I think, yeah, I have a few more questions here. No. Alright. Okay, so that's it. Bye bye. Bye guys.